Welcome back to Positive Impact. This is Torian, also known as Super T Sigma. I want to thank you again for coming out and checking out this video. This is part 2 to the series, Why Do Religions Fight? This is part 2, where we're going to talk about striking the shepherd and scattering the sheep. Striking the shepherd and scattering the sheep. Jesus says, if you strike the shepherd, the sheep will be scattered, in reference to his disciples departing from him to run for their lives at the Garden of Gethsemane. What makes this a formula is it is the source and the secret to dividing and breaking down any group or organism. You have to bind up the strong man, and then you can plunder his house. Where we get lost as people is we fight lower level enemies. And like a video game, the lower level enemies continue to spawn back. It's the bosses. Those are the enemies that you want to tackle. You want to tackle higher enemies. You want to strike the shepherd, and the sheep will become scattered. So the enemy has used this, where you will have one group that is called Christians. Okay? So they strike the shepherd. For whatever reason, the shepherd suffers a blow. Then it becomes 2 groups of Christians. Then those shepherds get hit. And then it's 4 groups, and 6 groups, and 12 groups. Right now, there's more denominations probably than you can count. That's a result of a shepherd being struck over and over and over. Not necessarily Jesus being stricken. Jesus was just part of an example. It's a pattern of something that has always been going on. Anytime a flock or people get scattered or a group gets broken up, it's usually from the top down. It's usually the leader that takes the hit, and then all the followers dissipate and vanish, turn tail and run, or follow them to their martyrdom. Might be a Jim Jones scenario. The shepherd was already stricken, so the sheep that gathered around him scattered immediately toward death, a lot of them. This is a formula. We have to attack higher enemies if we want to sustain our sense of divinity and our connection with the Most High. Sometimes you have to go to war about it and go to war over it, and you have to protect the most authoritative thing in your life from being stricken. Because if your sense of power and your sense of self is stricken, every other part of who you are can be scattered, can be shattered, can be fractured, can be fragmented, can be disposed of. That's why Jesus says, protect your crown, protect your head, protect your mind, protect your authority. Because if that gets stricken, the rest of you is going to crumble. Other parts of you can take hits, like your hands. You might not have the skills, or like your feet. The journey might tire you out. You might need to take breaks. You might feel overwhelmed in your quest. But the crown, the head, the shepherd inside of you, you have to protect him. Can't afford to have him be struck, because then the rest of you is going to be shattered. This is what happens when you have dissociative identity disorder. Whoever the real you was stricken by a trauma so strong that your psychology has been scattered into different identities, surrounded by amnesia walls that protect you from complete destruction. also called psychological scars. Religions are fighting because they're so divided. Because shepherds keep getting stricken over and over and over. Authority, the sense of power, the sense of balance, keeping the main thing, that always seems to go under attack. Protect the shepherd, and the sheep will be fine. You neglect the shepherd, the sheep are going to be exposed to the wolves. And it's so bad now, sheep are devouring each other. It's not even enough wolves. Wolves don't even get to the scene on time before the sheep have half eaten each other. Divisiveness. That's what makes ants such an awesome species, because they don't have a ruler. If you attack one of them, you have to attack all of them. It doesn't work that way in human laws because you have leaders. So once that leader gets hit, the whole flock falls. But with true unity and true uniformity and being on one accord, you can't be scattered, you can't be shattered, you can't be fractured, you can't be fragmented, you cannot be divided, you cannot be distracted. The law says to be fruitful and multiply, not to be barren and divisive, not division, unity, not exclusivity, inclusiveness. If you are proclaiming to be a person with religion, you have to keep yourself at a high spiritual magnitude that is worthy of universal respect, for one. For two, you have to remain magnanimous. Don't make it about you. Almost disappear from the scene, even when you're the center of attention. Always make it about something bigger, and you'll find your place just fine, thereby protecting the shepherd within you. Again, this is Torian, also known as Super T Sigma, with positive impact. Feel free to comment, comment, and subscribe. For any further inquiries, feel free to contact me at supertsigma@gmail.com. Happy existence, people. Thanks for listening.